Peace. Greetings. Hi, I am Brahmachristofire, founder and president of the Communio God-Self-Realization Christhood, the God-Self-Realization Communion of Christhood Divinization. And right now I want to tell you that if you are viewing this page independently of the Communio's website page, then I welcome you to the threshold of in a meeting ground, a meeting place, a rendezvous for the East and Western Enlightenment traditions. The Western being Gnosis traditions, Gnosis and Theosis traditions, as well as metaphysical, and the Eastern being the Yogi tradition that came out of Eastern thought, philosophy, different cosmologies, and the Christhood God-Self-Realization Seminary, or the Christhood Melchizedek God-Self-Realization Seminary, is our institution, one of our institutions to educate people and prepare those who are called to the priesthood. And just want to tell you that if this is the first exposure you've had to the communion or the communio, we are not mixed up with churchianity or membership or building shrines or building buildings that are necessary to find God. God is to be found within you, in your life, in your personal experience of the infinite cosmic bliss, the infinite intelligence that is bliss and all ever new joy, everlasting joy, the pre-existing consciousness, the pure consciousness of love, light, and perfection. And whether we use words like gnosis or direct God contact or samadhi or illumination or enlightenment or grace or the kingdom of heaven within, we're all speaking about similar phenomena. Mystical experiences on the path to integration, to full realization of who you are, coming to know who you are. And the purpose of this video is just to get you acquainted with the nature of priesthood in itself, or to become a swami, or to become a Melchizedek Gnostic priest, or a Pentecostal Gnostic priest, or a Zion Samadhi priest, or a Brahmachristos priest in the order of the Brahmachristos. These are all revelations. These are all dispensations that were given to me and now need to be passed on. They're not my exclusive right. Universal priesthood is everyone's sacred right, is everyone's sacred indwelling, the indwelling divine presence or divinization, the deificum, the nature of theosis, of coming to become deified in a God-like being, is all part of the path. It's all part of what we're to travel together in union with one another, not in separation or delusion or illusion, but we need to learn to find and be uplifted into the higher realms of consciousness, and to the higher chakras, the higher energy vortexes that are within us that transmute and transform universal life force energy, or the Holy Spirit, or the universal inspiration, or Shakti, Kundalini Shakti, into usable energy, into usable life, into the manifestation of either the causal body, the astral body, and into coming to know who we really are, which is not a body, which is not the matter identified downward pulling lower vibrations, but these higher vibrations we want to experience upliftment, and that doesn't mean at the expense of knowing and absolving and knowing and coming to dissolve and transmute the darker energies that are within us, like Yeshua said, like Jesus said, that you don't want to pull out the weeds. The wheat and the weeds need to grow together, because ultimately our shadow self, the parts of us that we do not like, the parts of us that cause us restlessness, that cause us tension, that cause division and separative, fearful thoughts to occur within us. Those things need to be recognized and integrated and transmuted in the alchemical cauldron that is within us, that brings to light and transmutes all lower base energies into higher forms of consciousness. The upliftment that we talk about is a heavenward, a Godward, evolving, accelerating consciousness that is our process of working out, of dissolving karma from past lives and from our present life actions and deeds and thoughts. And we need, in the dissolving process, we come to be free of sense-driven desires that cause us suffering, that cause us pain, that cause us to be depleted of energy and life force energy. We're ultimately able to, as yogis or as meditators, but specifically on a path to know the infinite love of God, the absolute divine presence of all that is, the divinity, the allness. The process of doing that is coming to know ourselves in God, to know that we are a godlike being, and that we are not just creatures of habit, that we are creatures of higher realms, creatures of pure bliss, creatures meant to be given over to joy, ever new joy that defeats the archons or rulers or negative ruling archetypes of the collective unconscious, things that are known as ruling idea energies. And the cosmic hypnotist or the metaphysical Satan tries to get us just to focus in on a very narrow perspective, a very narrow view of reality. Now, whether you believe God dreamed everything into existence from consciousness, that God was consciousness pre-existent, or that we each have our individual dreams, and that's what the universe comes to be viewed and perceived as, is ultimately separate from God, or in that all matter itself is not product of God, but is a product of thought, of division and separation that occurred within original consciousness, that an aspect of consciousness, illusory consciousness, dreamed this world into being. The Toltec Indians, the Toltec wisdom, which is non-religious in nature, speaks of the dream of the planet, that is the collective dream, the dream of hell, that everything that hell is described in all the great scriptures, in all the religious traditions throughout history, the history of humanity, ultimately is what appears in preservation tactics or inclinations that people engage in to try to preserve culture, to preserve lineage, to preserve kinship, to preserve things that are of the small mind. There's the small mind and there's the big mind. The big mind is the God mind, the God self, the cosmic mind, cosmic consciousness, Christ consciousness. Now, the little mind is anything manifest from the ego or ego desires or ego delusion. And what we need to do is listen to the still small voice within us, to be still and to know that we are God. And that's why we unite the East and Western practices together with priesthood and swamihood, and to become Gnostic yogi priests. Not Christian Gnostic yogi priests, because Christians we need to rescue the real Yeshua, the real Jesus, from Christians, and we need to rescue God from people who think that they are the chosen people. And I'm not here to be anti-Semitic. I'm not